Nigeria a lot bigger next door to it. So a bit of national pride at stake here as well.
That's right, they've played each other 14 times, Nigeria and Benin. Nigeria have largely had the better of things, winning 10 out of the 14. Benin winning once. They've had 3 draws. That Benin victory came in the qualifying rounds for the 1990 African Nations Cup. But along the way, Benin have suffered 2 7-0 defeats. Doesn't look like, for the moment, they're going to concede 7 today. They're looking well organised against the Super Eagles.
Problem is that to qualify for the last 8, it's Benin that need to be the 7-0 victors, or at least 5.
Okocha's asking a lot there of Udeze, and he won't get that. Approaching half an hour now, we're still goalless. 1 or 2 half chances for Nigeria, but for the most part, Benin coping very well.
Well, we had a 0-0 last night on Canal France International. Egypt against Cameroon. And I hope we don't get another one tonight.
Well, in general, we've seen quite a lot of goals so far in Tunisia. I had the pleasure of commentating Cameroon's 5-3 victory against Zimbabwe, which was a thrilling game. All credit to the Zimbabweans there for making that so exciting. Doesn't look like we're going to get 8 goals here tonight.
It's amazing what a goal does to a team's confidence, though. I thought Kenya had, well, blown their chances of getting a win, a point, a draw, or anything in this tournament. And then against Burkina Faso, 1 goal, and they look like a different team. Confidence just oozed from them.
But it's not easy to predict anything out here. The players have all been saying there are no longer any small teams in Africa. The last few days, we've seen that they're right. Nobody expected Algeria to lose to Zimbabwe. Algeria, who had beaten already Egypt, who'd held Cameroon to a draw, was stunned by the Warriors of Zimbabwe.
And no one expected Rwanda to beat their giant neighbour, the Democratic Republic of Congo. But the Congo, Mick Wadsworth, DR Congo, the only team so far to go home pointless. Couldn't join them on that.
Look across from Agahawa. Well, I think it hit the post.
It's mayhem in the Benin defence. And it's still there.
It was Agahawa on the right wing causing real problems. Got past his man. And a dangerous cross that the defender deflected onto his own post, as far as I could see, to wait for the replay there.
And the pressure not over yet. Now Benin have the opportunity to bring it away.
We've got men in this attack, but while it's played wide, the attack still on with Latunji.
Well, it's well played, Nigeria. Actually, all the action for a good minute or so was in the Benin penalty area, but they were quick enough to get back and clear the danger.
Yeah, it was against the post. It was Emmanuel, the Benin defender, almost putting into his own net there. And then all sorts of mayhem.
60 seconds of harem scarum in the Benin penalty area.
Now we have a Benin player who seems to have a problem. He's been taken off on a stretcher. It looks like Adjamosi, the left wing back. It's not Adjamosi. I'm wrong, because Adjamosi has the ball.
Is it Chris Sotami?
Yeah, I think it is. Damien Chrysostome, the central defender for Benin, plays in Italy for Padova. He's receiving treatment now. Benin carry on with 10 men.
And the chase is on. And the keeper hesitated. Nigeria have a corner.
Well, it was good, incisive defending there. It had to be. Agoué stayed in his penalty area. It looked as though Agahawa was in. It was Seydaf Chomogo. Showed a good turn of pace. Chrysostome back on the pitch now. He's back to defend the corner.
That's very confident keeping. No punching this time. Clear catch.
Given away though to Olofinjana.
And given back again. Well, Nigeria playing a very patient game, but need to get better crosses from corners than we just had. Was looking for variation on their play then, but Okocha was hovering. The ball didn't come to him.
Well, for a team that has supposed hopes of lifting this trophy, Nigeria have hardly looked like potential champions so far today.
Yeah, one of the pre-tournament favourites, along with Mali, Senegal, Cameroon. Obviously, the host Tunisia. They've had to rebuild since that 1-0 defeat by Morocco.
Okocha with a good cross, punched. A chance now, and a goal!
Yes.
The flag stayed down, the goal is given. Nigeria have the lead.
That came from a terrific corner from Okocha. The ball swerved in, the keeper didn't know what to do with it. He mistimed his leap, and the ball was loose and rammed in the back of the net.
It was Garba Lawal who has stabbed the ball home. Good chest control and a good finish. And Benin's resistance has been broken.
Now, will that signify the floodgates open? Well, Benin have to rebuild now.
They have an awkward 10 minutes now, Benin, to get through to half-time. Disappointing. Again, it could be described as a goalkeeping error, I think. He came, he punched, but it wasn't convincing.
Yeah, it's such a shame because the previous corner he made a good catch and again decided to punch. He was under pressure though. And now Nigeria again off on the break.
There's a good ball there from Kanu, but Chrysostome read it well.
Do Nigeria sense blood? They've got the bit between their teeth now, piling up the pressure in these last 10 minutes of the first half. Yes.
It was a good break from Olofinjana, and it was Utaka in the end with the low shot wide.
I think Utaka didn't realise just how much time he had actually. Just took a snapshot and well wide. Nigerian crowd, ecstatic. It's all in the eyes.
My calculations are correct. Nigeria would qualify with a 1-0 victory regardless of the score in the other Group D game today between South Africa and Morocco.
Just to remind you, you can see that game on Canal France International after this game. Okocha chasing some of a lost cause, and he's made it into anything but a lost cause. Smart play from Okocha. Great close control. He wins himself a throw-in. Replay of the goal. Now will Okocha make a long throw-in? Yes.
The keeper's come again. Far from convincing from the goalkeeper.
Not a case rather of once bitten, twice shy there. The keeper content to punch, causing all kinds of problems.
You sense now that Nigeria are going to take every opportunity, whether it's a throw-in, a free kick, just to throw it into the mixer, try and test out Agoué. Here's Utaka for George Abbey. But when the Nigerians do get their tails up, there are very few teams in the world that can live with them. Just saw Okocha on the right wing showing a few of his tricks. And a second goal, I would say, for Nigeria would perhaps be the signal for JJ and friends to turn it on today.
Now Benin, they just won a free kick, and they've got about 7 minutes to go to half-time. Last thing they want is another goal against them.
Very animated Cecil Jones on the bench, the Benin manager. An English speaker, Cecil Jones, he's Ghanaian. Most of the, well, all of the Benin players are French-speaking. Cecil Jones assures me that 70% of them understand English, and the other 30% have to go through his interpreter.
In his media release, Cecil is described as a devotee of Brazilian-style football. I think everyone would like to be. I'm not seeing much evidence of that from Benin at the moment. However, there's a long time to go. It's not all over yet for Benin, but JJ Okocha is about to launch another corner into that Benin penalty area. Keeps it short. It's gone behind for a goal kick.
Yeah,
So,
good work, sorry, good work there from Kanu. Managed to just flick it over his shoulder.
good variation there from Okocha as well. All the Benin defenders were reorganising themselves and didn't notice the quick corner. Kanu did though.
Once again, Omar Chomogo has been, well, he's looked lost really up front for Benin. He's had very, very little support. The service he's had has been very, very difficult, and the Gangom striker struggling to get a foothold in this game, really.
Reminds me very much of the Kenyan, the Kenyan player, Dennis Oliak. Dennis Jimenez played a lone striking role. And it wasn't until the game against Burkina Faso that he actually got to play with. Always surrounded by 2 or 3 players, except against that Burkina Faso defence. And once Kenya had got a goal, well, Dennis began to play with a lot of aplomb and confidence.
Well, Benin do have a potential partner for Chomogo in Muratala Ogunbayi, who played very, very well in the first match. Ogunbayi, Nigerian-born, plays his football in Nigeria. He'll be keen to get on the pitch here today. He actually picked up an injury in the first game, which is why he only featured as a substitute in the second game. Here is Chomogo. Chomogo does well, and a good cross. Well, it was Wasiu coming in at the far post, almost a chance. Wasiu again fighting for the ball, but fouling Okoronko.
Well, a rare moment of opportunity for Benin. The ball was bobbling around in the Nigerian defence. They eventually regained order.
But again, that was a perfect example of what we were saying. Chomogo was on the left wing. Curled a lovely cross into the box, but there wasn't really a striker. There was Wasu, who was coming in from deep, but no support for Chomogo.
Look at that pass from Okocha, and Kanu just wide. Beautiful build-up there from JJ Okocha. He had a good few seconds of total freedom and just picked his pass.
Kanu might have been better going for that with his left foot. Difficult to get a right-footed shot on target from there, but struggling to get goals these days, Kanu. Latunji. Adjumosi's made a good run. Frustrated that Latunji ignored him. Well, you just get the feeling, Roy, that Benin are going to have to take a slightly more positive approach in the second half.
I was just thinking, you can see 1 or 2 players with slumped shoulders out there for Benin and just walking around instead of putting any pressure on the Nigerians.
If you watch Chomogo venture forward, you've got the 4 Benin defenders hanging back on the halfway line. The midfielders showing no real effort to get forward and support Chomogo. Obviously keen not to concede a second goal, but the more Benin sit back and try and soak up Nigeria pressure, the more trouble they could be in after the break.
Yeah, what Nigeria have got to think about really is winning the game first and winning by a lot, because in the eventuality that Morocco actually lose to South Africa, then a lot of goals would put Nigeria top of the group, and obviously, or theoretically, a somewhat easier game in the quarterfinals. They've got to score a lot of goals, remember, though, because Morocco have that 5-0 goal difference at the moment.
Well, it is important because Cameroon were the winners of Group C, so they will play the second-place team in Group D. The winners of Group D will take on Algeria, who finished second in Group C, so the group winners will avoid the favourites Cameroon, which is a real incentive. So watch Kanu on the left wing. Good turn from Kanu. Emmanuel sticks to his task though. Takes the ball off the Arsenal man in the end.
Kanu's definitely having a frustrating tournament. 2-3 years ago, he'd got that ball across, beaten his man, and who knows, so far in this game, he's just put a couple of shots wide. Mind you, he keeps running, he's making space for other players.
Well, he's certainly contributing, Kanu, but people know what he's capable of, and if he's not doing wonderful turns and showing his tricks and scoring wonder goals, people generally are disappointed with him, and here he is again on the left wing.
Yeah, the element of surprise has gone from his game, really, hasn't it?
Kanu, like Okocha, is out of contract with his club in the summer. Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger has been hinting that he will offer him a new deal after seeing Kanu play some nice cameo roles this season.
But do you think Kanu will be content to play supplementary roles in competitions like the World Cup and coming on as an occasional sub in the Premier League?
I think, in all honesty, Kanu will be leaving Arsenal this summer. I think Arsenal and Arsene Wenger are looking to bring in some young blood up front, and Kanu, he's had a long time. He's been there for 6 years already.
Any speculation on where you think he might go? Might he do a Teddy Sheringham and go to a team like Portsmouth that need a veteran?
Well, it would be interesting. It would be interesting to see Kanu play for a club in the Premiership, perhaps not a top club, not an Arsenal, Manchester United or Chelsea, but a club where he's guaranteed to start every game. Because I believe Kanu is capable of scoring 15 or 20 goals in a season in England. But at Arsenal, he doesn't get the regular football.
Well, every player goes through a bad patch, and players need the time on the pitch. They need playing time and to stay sharp, basically. And there's a sharp pass from Okocha. Agahawa waiting for support, finding Olofinjana, back to George Abbey. So the 45 is up, we're in the 2nd minute of additional time. The score is 1-0, Nigeria lead against Benin. And remember, this for a place in the quarterfinals of the African Nations Cup here in Tunisia.
Latunji looking to flick on for Jomogo, the captain, but Jomogo not reading the ball. He cuts a frustrated figure at the moment, Omar Jomogo. Would dearly love to take a goal back with him to Benin.
Well, there's the referee's whistle for half-time in this Group D game. Nigeria lead Benin 1-0. It's all gone to script so far. Nigeria, they put constant pressure upon Benin. They got, well, let's call it a somewhat scrappy goal. It came from a corner and the Benin keeper punched it. His defense failed to get it clear, and it was rammed home by Garba Laval.
Yeah, as we expected, I think Nigeria struggled to impress for the first half an hour. They didn't really create too many chances, but the pressure started to mount, and in the end, that one goal, I think, a deserved lead, and Benin are going to have to come out and they're going to have to show a little bit more in this second half, or they could be on the end of another drubbing here.
So 1-0 here in Sfax. It's half-time, and we'll take the entire second half. Join us then. Second half, Nigeria, they got themselves into a huddle. They know the task ahead of them, and by contrast, Benin, they strolled out and no one was really looking at each other, and a few shoulders slumped, and Nigeria, their target is obvious.
Well, Benin need at least 6 goals by our calculations, and they need a South Africa defeat in order to progress. So they are looking really realistically to get some pride here. A goal, perhaps a point, perhaps 3 points. Certainly a goal.
Yeah, a goal would lift their spirits enormously and just sow the seeds of doubt in the minds of the Nigerians.
Now Benin on the attack, but overhit ball there, and Emmanuel won't get that. You have to give credit. You have to remember that this is Benin's first ever appearance in the African Cup of Nations, and it's fantastic that they got here. They qualified at the expense of Zambia, who traditionally a force in African football, and it's fantastic for the country Benin to see the Squirrels out here in Tunisia. Taka switch flanks here.
Good place there from Okocha, but eventually ran into too many defenders.
The key for me to a Benin recovery is that the midfielders get up and support Omar Chomogo. Talking about Wasiu, Latunji, perhaps Oketula as well. In the first half, they played very defensively, rarely ventured into the Nigeria half, and Chomogo, well, he's not going to do it on his own.
Yeah, I keep harping back to that Rwanda game, and when they needed a goal desperately, the coach put 4 strikers on, so the message is there. The lone striker for Benin does need some support. Unfortunately, sadly, that leaves the back wide open.
I'm not sure Benin have picked 4 strikers in their squad, to be honest. As I said, Ogunbayi, hopefully, in terms of a spectacle, we'll get on in the second half, because he's a lively player. He's got a lot to prove. He was disappointed that Nigeria ignored him for national team selection. He plays his football for Enyimba. He's qualified to play for Benin, so eventually decided to represent the Squirrels out here in Tunisia. So far, though, Ogunbayi on the bench. Unclear how serious his injury is, so if he is half fit, he will probably get a run here today. Now, Benin on the attack with Wasiu, crosses.
Just failed to control at the key moment there. And all that came about from a few moments of sloppy play from Nigeria. Now here's Okocha, midfield. And who again loses the ball. Surrounded by 2 players. Didn't have the control to lay it off.
The pressure on Kanu, of course, all the greater for the fact that Ayegbeni and Agali, 2 strikers, have been sent home. It really limits Nigeria's options in attack. Some rumours that Kanu is carrying a knee injury. He went off in the last game and had ice on his knee. He's had problems this season.
I think he's been subbed up in both games, hasn't he, Matthew?
He has.
Maybe a case of old injuries catching up with him. May even be a case of age catching up with him as well.
Yeah, it seems such a long time ago that Nwankwo Kanu lifted the Champions League with Ajax as a 17-year-old. Crossed in for Agahawa. But Chomogo wins it in the air. And the band away to our left continue to beat away on their drums and trying to set a rhythm for the players, perhaps.
Just to repeat, the Tunisians have done a wonderful job packing this stadium out. Actually, you see one or two empty spaces that weren't there in the first half, so I assume it's just a case of people not having returned to their seats after the break. The place was full during the first half.
We thought we might be getting some rain this evening. There were certainly some heavy clouds hanging over us, but fairly fresh evening, but no signs of rain yet.
Now, that's better from Kanu. Kept possession very well, but the foul gives Benin possession.
Well, as long as Tunisia stay in the competition, I think we can be guaranteed a lot of interest in this country. So far, Tunisians have looked pretty impressive in their 3 matches.
Talking about Tunisia, of course, they one of the 4 or 5 countries bidding for the 2010 World Cup, and you can see around the ground several boards: Morocco, South Africa, Egypt, and a joint bid from Tunisia and Libya. We understand that there's been a late bid put in by Senegal as well.
That's right, and the organisation of this tournament will certainly go some way to influencing Tunisia's chances. It's been well organised, but I just feel that they'll need to do a lot of work in terms of the stadium and the roads in Tunisia if they want to host a tournament of such size.
Yeah, I'll fully endorse that, Matthew. I was frightened to death last night coming down here to Sfax on that single carriageway road. We actually saw an overturned car just in front of us as well, and well, that has to be made into a motorway if Tunisia are going to stand any chance of staging such a prestigious tournament in only 6 years' time. You know, just got an injured player here, and Nigeria have a free kick, which is well within range of the man with the ball at the moment, Austin Okocha.
Well, he's licking his lips here, Okocha. He's just asked for the ball to be changed. He felt that ball was a bit flat, and he wants the perfect ball for this free kick. As we watch Ahueya being stretchered off, the Mogas 90 midfielder.
And JJ wants it placed perfectly. I'll say it once, it's a good line. JJ Okocha, so good they nicknamed him twice. Now, this is a very similar position to the free kick where he scored the 5th goal against Aston Villa in the World Cup final with the outside of his foot. And not this time, JJ.
No, he didn't quite catch that one. He's shrugging his shoulders there. He's a bit frustrated by that. He knew that was a chance. That's right, it was 2 free kicks that Okocha scored. The second for Bolton, apparently a goal of the season contender.
Well, the first was good as well. Kept the keeper, caught the keeper napping, and floated it over the wall and bounced it in.
Well, I tell you, Sam Allardyce will be one man who would not be too disappointed if Nigeria got eliminated in the first phase. Just to be careful here, Chrysostom.
Well, the most nervous man on the pitch then was the Benin keeper, Agwe. He came, he went, he dithered. Eventually, they didn't need him.
This is Samuel.
Well covered there by Okaronko. Came across and snuffed out the danger.
Slightly better though from Benin. They're showing signs of, as we watch Agahawa.
Bit of class there from Kanu, the back heel, but the scuffed shot eventually.
Yeah, Benin showing signs of committing a few more men forward here. It's leaving Agahawa and Kanu with a little more space.
Yeah, they have no option, do they, Benin? They have to push more men forwards now. And that should make it a much more open game. Kanu trying to drag his man out to the left wing. He goes inside again.
Slightly hopeful pass though from